Hello, remember me? Hi, I'm Thad Omura. I'm the SVP and GM of our compute connectivity group here at Astera Labs. And what a wonderful, awesome session to invite my friend Kishore
Thank
with
you. Thank you for having
NVIDIA.
me. Yeah.
Uh, Go ahead and introduce yourself, Kishore, to
Sure.
the crowd.
So my name is Kishore Atreya. I'm responsible for the segment sales function of the NVLink Fusion at NVIDIA. So I'm excited to be here with Astera Labs, one of our key ecosystem partners. So looking forward to this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what we wanted to do today is really spend a little bit of time talking about the collaboration between NVIDIA and Astera Labs, and especially have a little bit of focus around NVLink Fusion, NVIDIA's NVLink Fusion program. Okay. Now, just to kind of like start things off, Kishore, right? I mean, we are here at Computex. Things are hopping, right? Any cool AI things you think about, like things that may apply to your life?
Yeah,
Anything that comes to mind?
that's a great question. So recently in NVIDIA, we rolled out Codex access to everybody. Now, Codex, if you haven't used it before, is an agentic AI platform by OpenAI. And I use it every day. I mean, it helps me with getting insights into what's happening around my world within NVIDIA's email summaries, reminders, tracking action
Wow.
items. I mean, it's a personal assistant that you have, and it's super helpful, right? It's really useful stuff.
Awesome. I mean, me personally, I would say, I love getting up in the morning and just hitting the button in the garage on my car, and then I arrive at work. I get out and I do that to get home. So that's one of my favorite applications. But,
Yeah.
we just spent 30, 40 minutes talking to folks here about Astera Labs and our purpose built connectivity solutions. And what's been exciting is we've had a long engagement. We mentioned NVIDIA's name probably 4 or 5 times
Mhm.
about our engagement. It started off way back when the Hopper generation was
Yep.
released, and our PCI Express retimers were critical components for Hopper to talk to the rest of the system, and that really kind of set us on our way. And really, we now have the latest PCIe 6 switches and retimers, and connecting with the NVIDIA devices and interoperating, being first to interoperate. And really, that now lends us to, talking about the next gen AI infra.
Mhm.
Okay. So, Kishore, as we see the infrastructure just evolving at this just crazy pace, I mean, you have a firsthand look at that. How are hyperscalers, really dealing with all of this?
Yeah.
What are they thinking about? And as they also start talking about using their own XPUs to scale infrastructure,
Mhm.
right? Maybe not an NVIDIA GPU.
Right.
How do you guys think about that and in working with those hyperscalers?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first off, obviously, all of these hyperscalers are using our products today, and they continue to do so. But there are certain use cases that our hyperscale partners are seeing. For example, they may have workloads that they want to specialize and accelerate. They may want to tune their infrastructure for those workloads. In those scenarios, they would build their own accelerators, right? Kind of a specialized accelerator. Now, that's great because it ultimately allows for them to have more access to compute. We want to help them get there for those specialized use cases by taking advantage of our NVLink Fusion's rack scale infrastructure,
Mm,
right?
mm.
So we don't view it really as a competitive thing. We view them actually as helping our partners achieve their business objectives by taking advantage and leveraging what we have to offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like a competitive type of thing on an XPU versus an NVIDIA. It's just really kind of adding to the total infrastructure is how you
Correct.
think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotcha. I gotcha. And as these scale up technologies and these XPUs are evolved, like what are you seeing as like the latest big challenges when they have to do this?
Good question. So, as you probably are aware, scale up is not easy. It's not a network per se. It's really a fabric that interconnects accelerators to accelerators in a very low latency, high performant domain. A simple way to think about it is if I were to build a very large accelerator, like the biggest accelerator you can possibly imagine, you can't do it in one piece of silicon,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
You have to interconnect several pieces of silicon or GPUs or XPUs together and have them operate as if they're one. That's what scale up enables. right?
Yeah.
And it's hard. We're on our sixth generation of scale up today,
Wow.
deploying in
Wow.
mass production, and we want our partners to take advantage of that. And that's the advantage. That's what Fusion offers.
I see. So you got some of these customers you're looking at for Fusion. They're like, they're building their own XPUs, and when they talk about all of these challenges, because we're all seeing them too. I mean, we see them as well. Like, do they share with you like what if they don't get it right? Like, what's the impact of not getting all of this stuff working?
Right. So, I mean, if you take it back to just simple economics, right? I mean, you heard Jensen say compute is revenue.
Mm,
Another way to think about it is time to deploy compute impacts your ability to access those revenues,
absolutely.
right? So if you're not able to, if you don't make the right scale up decision or the right infrastructure decision, you're not going to be able to necessarily deploy your compute as fast as you possibly can to take advantage of the factory that you're building. So with Fusion, again, the goal is to help our partners get to that deployment as
Yeah.
fast as possible, leveraging what we have, right?
Gotcha. Gotcha. So let's talk about NVLink Fusion a little bit, right? It was literally 1 year ago at this show, Computex, where NVIDIA announced the NVLink Fusion program, right? And announced a bunch of partners. We were included. Thank you for including us on that one. We really want to understand a little bit more. What what is it like?
Sure.
Give us the nuts and bolts about what is behind the program, what's behind the architecture.
Right. So we like to describe NVIDIA Fusion as a full stack solution. And let's dive into what full stack means, right? I mean, if you're a software guy, full stack could be a software stack. But what we look at it is really, it's a collection of silicon, networking,
Mm,
systems, software,
got it.
right, for DC infrastructure.
Right.
Now, Fusion allows our customers to leverage the the whole rack scale infrastructure that we build today. So, for example, you may have seen Jensen talk about the VR pod, the Vera Rubin pod,
Mm,
right? The Vera Rubin pod has our GPU racks, it has our CPU Vera racks, takes advantage of our scale out infrastructure. It also has our storage infrastructure that we've announced
oh yeah.
recently, right?
Don't forget about storage,
Don't forget
right?
about
Yeah.
storage. Now, what Fusion allows our partners to take advantage of is, let's assume you want to go back and build that specialized AI accelerator. If you go and build your AI accelerator and you have a different approach to systems and a different approach to power distribution and cooling, you're going to effectively have a very challenging problem because all of your data center partners are likely going to deploy NVIDIA infrastructure. Let's be real, right? If you're
Yeah.
differentiating from that, then it makes the deployment problem very challenging. So for example, if you have a different power distribution, different cooling distribution, different form factor of rack,
Got ya.
right? You may not be able to optimize the available resources you have in your data center to the best of your ability,
I gotcha.
right? So our goal is really to standardize on the data center infrastructure pieces
Right.
of this,
Right.
take advantage of the same form factors that we have to offer, leverage the system designs that we have to offer, leverage the software stack, and slot in your accelerator where there would be a GPU, for example,
Got it.
while also taking advantage of the rest of the compute infrastructure we have to offer, like the Vera Sandbox CPU, for example, or the storage that we mentioned. So you get access to all of that.
Wow.
That's the
Okay.
offering.
Do these customers express like in that whole complexity of deploying all these, the XPU and the total rack, and how much maybe they can speed up their time to market? Do they talk about that and like what's the impact of doing that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So number one, not just the time to market. There's also a development cost leverage,
Okay.
right? It's very expensive to build a rack. It's not easy to do. You have to build up your whole supply chain. We're here in Taipei today to talk about this, the supply chain that NVIDIA has built and
Mm,
others have built. It's not easy to stand this up, right?
yeah.
So, and it's not cheap. So Fusion allows you to leverage that. Now, the second thing is, since you don't have to build the systems or the software per se completely from
Yeah.
scratch, you are actually able to shift left your time to deployment by a substantial amount,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And again, as we say, compute is revenue, and time to compute allows you to access revenue faster. So shifting left is critical for getting your factories online, and this again helps you with that.
Got it. Got it. And how many different architectures? Because I mean, from what we see at Astera, right? Hyperscalers, AI labs, and I mean, you probably see this as well, like the number of different types of compute and accelerators just proliferating. So, you think all of them can just slot into the NVLink Fusion ecosystem and infrastructure, or is it a specific type that you think takes more advantage of it?
I don't think we can really, you know, paint with a broad brush, to be honest.
Okay.
It would be a conversation
Yeah.
we would have to have
Yeah.
with the people manufacturing those accelerators,
I gotcha.
right? But the key takeaway is this: like if you're trying to if you're depending on what you're trying to build,
Yeah.
at least from a rack infrastructure, there's a fair amount of leverage, and scale up, there's a fair amount of leverage. But we would really need to have a more detailed conversation
Okay.
to understand what makes sense.
So you're saying it's like a customized, it's a very customized type of engagement.
I would say it's more of a semi-custom
Oh,
engagement,
semi-custom
right? Because
engagement.
we have
Okay.
so much
Yeah.
leverage.
Yeah.
But the reality is, again, we can't paint with a broad brush. We want to make sure our customers have the ability to get what they want,
Gotcha.
right? We're not
Gotcha.
being super prescriptive
Okay.
with this, but the idea is to work with them and really help them meet their business objective. And
Okay.
we'll do whatever we can.
Yeah. I think that's where a partner like Astera Labs can really help come in on these kind of semi-custom elements, right? You guys have got this entire blueprint for, a ready qualified, a ready to deploy rack infrastructure. And these customized XPUs, they all may have a slightly different interface, if you will, right? To get out to NVLink, right? I mean, is that kind of like where some of the NVLink Fusion and kind of this partnership is really based around?
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we don't prescribe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
We understand that our customers have their own viewpoints on how they want to access scale up, and working with partners like yourselves at
yeah.
Astera Labs really helps them achieve that.
Okay.
And this is not a solution without this solution requires its ecosystem,
Yeah,
right? We have
yeah.
to work together with the entire ecosystem, with our entire supply chain,
Okay.
in order to get there.
Well, I think, with our connectivity platform, we talked about this kind of AI your way, right? All of the different types of IO devices that like IO connectivity solutions we're already engaged with these hyperscalers on. I think this is really why we have seen, right, that it's the right type of engagement, the right type of model to provide that more semi-custom type of interconnect. And really NVLink Fusion being a part of this ecosystem really bolsters our entire intelligent connectivity platform because yes, some vendors, some XPU vendors, some hyperscalers, they want to stick to standards. They want to stick to whether it's PCI Express or an Ethernet type of solution. But we also see a lot want to then just leverage the ready-made, ready to go, very bulletproof type of rack solutions that NVIDIA offers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. And let's talk about um, how you see then um, the the rack deployment process goes. Like they have, the time frame in which somebody maybe starts with an XPU device, and they're saying, "Okay, I now need to figure out how this is going to be architected." How long does it take, do you think it's going to be before they start actually deploying an NVLink Fusion type of solution?
Well, from our perspective, we have, as you know, our yearly cadence,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we don't, our perspective is, look, if you, depending on where you want to intercept and which system that we have to offer, the systems we have to offer,
Yeah.
it may be a few quarters,
Okay.
right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
quick after, right?
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about now, just in general, as NVIDIA sees the different workloads evolving. Um, does NVLink Fusion only apply to a certain class of your accelerators, or a certain class of connectivity, if you will? Is it just the baseline scale up, or do you think that it will have different scale levels, if you will, over time?
Yeah, so I think the best way to think about that is just look at what we've talked about in terms of the scale up domain sizes
Yes.
that we're offering.
Yes.
We're making our, like we said, we're making our systems available, right? That includes the sizes of the scale up. So for example, in GTC San Jose, Jensen announced our NVL 576, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Right. So our customers, if they want to build such a scale up, they can take advantage of what we have to offer and
Okay.
get there as well. Again, uh, we don't prescribe. We just give you access to what we have. And
Yeah.
if you want to build something that hits that scale, by all means.
Okay. Okay. And as we continue to talk about uh, different form factors that a lot of these XPU vendors they're trying to integrate. How is that handled? Because basically right now we're saying it's got to kind of fit within the MGX rack. What's the kind of flexibility on the board level design of that compute board that goes in? Are they open to kind of like shifting things around, or how prescriptive from a board design that plugs into the rack do we need to be?
Actually, not that prescriptive.
Okay. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we said, everything boils down to a trade-off of time to market.
Gotcha.
So if you want to design your own compute tray, you're more than welcome to. There are certain things that you have to adhere to in terms of system requirements, but what's inside the tray realistically can be our customer's decision,
I see.
right? It depends on what their tolerance is to time to market.
I see. I see. Okay. And let's see. Any other thoughts if you have on kind of like where this all goes, and what's the opportunity level and sizing, if you will, out there in the market for this type of solution?
Well, first off, we're very excited with the momentum that we've seen
Hmm.
so far, right? Um, we do think that it's a great offering, and we are hoping for customers to take it to see the value proposition and realize
Absolutely.
that, and that's what we're working towards. Um, but time will tell,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, I did want to ask you a couple questions,
Okay.
right? So why did Astera join the Fusion ecosystem?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. For Astera Labs, we are a company that really is driven by working very closely with customers and servicing them in terms of like what they're asking for. And NVLink Fusion is no different. I mean, we together did an announcement back in November, if I recall, where we talked about kicking off, if you will, really the first solution driven by hyperscaler demand for an NVLink Fusion solution. So, Astera Labs, as we continue, we are open to continue to build out the connectivity platform with the right solutions that customers are asking for, okay, and that they can take advantage of quickly to get to market and see that their infrastructure is optimized. So, when we talk about Astera Labs and our connectivity into the XPUs, it's not always just the connectivity to the scale up fabric. There are scale out connectivity solutions that we talked about a little bit earlier in the discussions here about bridging over to a different network type of solution or bridging to the head node. Okay. So, because we are involved with virtually every single um, XPU architecture out there with our connectivity solutions, it makes it an ideal place for us to now provide an NVLink Fusion solution. So we love to be able to leverage those relationships, those trusted relationships. We also love to be able to leverage a bit of some of the software management capabilities that we've worked with our customers on. And then they now trust us to provide that solution to get them over to NVLink in a very efficient manner.
I see.
Yeah.
So, what's your experience been like so far within the
Yeah.
ecosystem?
Yeah, I think that we see the gambit, if you will, of different challenges and different time to market solutions that people want to get to market because inside, if you talk about all of the different hyperscalers, we're seeing that they deploy. Of course, NVIDIA is there, and that's where this makes so much sense because they're understanding and used to your rack level solutions. But we do see other XPUs and even other GPUs that is diversifying within this particular landscape. And it's because of the diversity of applications. Okay. They want to choose a different type of GPU or XPU for those applications. So they are all then trying to figure out, how do I build the connectivity out? Okay. And when somebody is like really entrenched, if you will, with NVIDIA, most of them, they are all now looking really closely at, how do I leverage that effort, just like you said. Okay. And we want to be there to provide them that solution. We also want to be there if they want to go towards a different solution, whether it's PCI Express or eventually Ultra Accelerator Link and these others. And we want to be that so-called one-stop shop, kind of having a full stack, a full platform of connectivity solutions to offer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think, just in general, where would you think our AI infrastructure is heading to from your
Yeah.
perspective? Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm seeing is, again, the number of, as much as I see the hyperscalers, they initially adopted one solution, mostly NVIDIA solutions. They adopted two. I see that proliferating, and it's just because of the optimized infrastructure per application and per use case. And I think that opens up more opportunities, if you will, for being able to leverage, NVLink Fusion, as a solution for them to get those solutions to market quickly. We talked earlier about performance, scale, and resilience
Mhm.
being critical elements, especially for the AI labs to deploy at scale. And that's where a lot of the NVLink Fusion, themes automatically, come at a very fast pace because it's proven. So
Awesome.
yeah, yeah,
Well,
okay,
I think that's all I had from my
yeah.
side.
Okay. Well, Kishore, it has been an incredible conversation. Thank you for the partnership on NVLink Fusion. We look forward to engaging with NVIDIA on more and more programs. As NVLink Fusion continues to proliferate, and let's hopefully stick around and answer questions from the audience post this, if you will, if they've got some more detailed things to ask. But really appreciate your time and spending with us, and all the best.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for
Okay.
having me.
Thank you, Kishore.
Thank you.